J.K. Rowling has a new book coming out, but what I really want to concentrate on is what she said back in 2010. And it's getting a lot of publicity now because her new book is coming out. And it's perfectly relevant to these times because of Mitt Romney being in the race here in the presidential race in America. When she had talked about, she had been asked, hey, look, you're making a lot of money now because of Harry Potter books. So are you thinking about moving abroad so you don't have to pay as much taxes? Here was her response. First, she said, I chose to remain a domiciled taxpayer for a couple of reasons. The main one was that I wanted my children to grow up where I grew up, to have proper roots and a culture as old and magnificent as Britain's. To be citizens with everything that implies of a real country, not free-floating expats living in the limbo of some tax haven and associating only with the children of similarly greedy tax exiles. I immediately love her. Right now, not all expats are greedy or trying to avoid taxes, but certainly some are. And she says, I don't want to be with those guys. Basically, I don't want to be in that room. And she's absolutely right. But the second part of it is even better. She says, the second reason, however, was that I am indebted to the British welfare state, the very one that Mr. Cameron would like to replace with charity handouts. When my life hit rock bottom, that safety net, threadbare though it had become under John Major's government, was there to break the fall. I cannot help feeling, therefore, that it would have been contemptible to scalper for the West Indies at the first sniff of a 7-figure royalty check. This, if you like, is my notion of patriotism. Hear, hear. That is awesome. That's exactly right. And remember, Mitt Romney also had help from the American welfare state. His father, when he first moved from Mexico to the United States, they were in a Mormon compound in Mexico and they came here, got welfare help. And Mitt Romney now brags about that. But he wants to burn the bridge behind him. And does he want to pay his taxes? Oh, hell no. Now, not only has he paid about 13% in taxes in the years that we know of, he pumped it up and pumped it up. In the 1 year he just released all the way up to 14%. Wow. But he's got his money in the Cayman Islands. He's got his money in Bermuda. He had his money in his Swiss bank accounts. He's trying to hide it everywhere. But it's not just that. It turns out he also did something called an IDGDT. You know what that is? I didn't. It turns out it's called an intentionally defective guarantor trust. Isn't that amazing? It's a tax shelter that in the title says intentionally defective. What do the accountants for the rich call it? They call it, I dig it. Literally, I'm not making that up. You see the IDGT, so they get it from there, but they also get it because it lets them avoid all taxes. So what did he do with this? He had made $100 million and he moved it into a trust. Now, look, again, you're doing that for your kids, your grandkids, that makes sense. Now, that Romney's trust, because of financial accounting tricks and because of a good investment in DoubleClick, wind up having 1,000% return. All right, fantastic. Living the American dream, no problem so far. Now, here's the problem. The estate tax, if you pass it on to your kids and grandkids, is 55%. And the gift tax also prevents you from passing it on immediately. So now, if you pay that, God bless. But of course, the whole point of I dig it is to avoid all of that. So you know what percentage tax they paid instead? 0%. Zero. In the case of a $100 million trust, you know what that saves you? $55 million. Now, when he doesn't pay the $55 million, guess who does? That's right, you do. Because we got to pay for those wars somehow, right? We've got the social safety net, but we also have the oil subsidies, we have all the things. And then locally, cops, firemen, teachers, it says somebody's got to pay for that. And Lord knows that Lord Voldemort doesn't want to pay for it. So he takes his money and runs, whether it's to the Cayman Islands or through these trust shenanigans. In fact, Stephen Brightstone works at a law firm that is familiar with these tricks, and he said, quote, Romney uses every trick in the book. It's going to be harder to do tax planning in the future. He's bringing attention to things that weren't getting attention. Now, I love that quote. That's because he's saying, man, you're letting the whole world know all the crooked tricks we do to protect the rich and take the burden and shift it onto the middle class and the poor. Shush. That's amazing, man. Look at the contrast between Rowling and Romney. And it tells you all you need to know about Romney and what kind of a man he is.